This week, we talk mostly about...
Let me think. Spoilers and worries. Hi, I'm Matt. Parenting is hard, but do you know what? I've got some questions.
And I'm Dan. Maybe I've got the answers. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Ramblings of Dad Men. I am, or what used to be, Dan, as you could probably tell from the squeaky voice. I did have a voice. Joined again by Matt. How are you, buddy?
I'm all right. I'm good. I am impressed that you're still having a cheeky pint after what I assume is a bit of a rough night last night, was it?
I wouldn't say rough night. I just think long day, as you can tell. We'll get into that in a minute, but I need it.
It's the hair, not the hair of the dog. It's like the house.
It's the cold drink helping the voice box, making me sound like Weezer from Toy Story.
I see. I unfortunately ran out of beer in the house, and I am now drinking Guinness 0% draft out of the can.
Of all the drinks, I'd rather drink water.
I mean, I don't mind a Guinness, and to be honest, I hated it when I first tried it, but it's not too bad now. But
I don't mind Guinness, but fucking 0% Guinness.
Yeah, well,
just Iron Brew, innit?
Sorry,
it's what Iron Brew should be.
Yeah, this is what I guess it's just like an iced coffee, really, is it? With cigarette ash in, because that's what Guinness tastes like. It tastes like an ashy coffee, and don't let anybody tell you any different. But it's cold. Yeah. It'll do. It's been a hot day. How have you done in the heat wave tonight? How have you coped well?
Yeah, I've been all right, to be fair. I've just been made myself busy around the house today, pottering about, bit of gardening, clean the cars.
That's what we've done today. Fucking Sunday.
Do you know what? I hate cleaning cars when it's sunny, because I hate cleaning cars when it's cold, because it's fucking cold. But cleaning cars when it's sunny, the fucking dries before you've got a chance to. So I've got one of them like snow. This is just like absolutely ranting now, but so I've got one of the little demon foam things that turns snow foam stuff extension on the autos.
Oh yeah.
So wet the car, put that shit on, and it says agitate it. So I tried calling it a few names.
Yeah.
So you get a sponge and move it about and all that shit, and then by the time you come to rinse that off, it's fucking dried. So you've got to basically fucking wet the car again and then agitate it again and then work panel to panel. So yeah, sorry. Anyway, there you go. Dad tip. Don't wash your car in the direct fucking sun.
Well, we also cleaned the car today. I was cleaning inside of it, but I wussed out because it was so hot, and we're a ginger family. I thought I needed to have a little rest, and then we ended up doing some other stuff in the house. I didn't go to sleep or anything, but no, I've cleaned the inside. The inside needed a right gutting, but I still need to clean outside. So I might either do that later or more than likely go to a petrol station.
Here's £10. Will you please clean the car?
Exactly. Or the machine things. I used to love the little machine things back in the day.
You don't see many of them these days, do you?
Yeah, absolutely don't. But I remember it being like a little bit of a treat when I was young. Oh, we're going to go see the big brushes, I think we called it, or something like that. And me and my brother were fascinated about it. And we used to go in the car and, my mum probably thought she's got 10 minutes peace. She could just sit down and us look at something else for a minute.
Better than locking you in toilets.
Sorry?
Better than locking you in toilets.
Yeah,
telling you it's a cinema.
Yeah.
There's a throwback to an old episode. So what else have you been up to? Have you actually watched Stranger Things?
We have. watched Stranger Things, completed it, mate. It was a slog, wasn't it? A 4-hour film.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Do you know what's really funny? And we'll talk about Stranger Things in a minute. But we're also watching something else on Netflix, right? And it's took it longer to watch this than it has to watch Stranger Things. And now, bearing in mind that Stranger Things is, what is it, 4 hours for those 2 episodes? And these episodes are 10 minutes long. Like,
wow.
Man versus Bee. Have you seen that? Been watching that?
Yeah, we watched all that in like an afternoon.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it's taking us like 3.5 years to take it. So, yeah. But I think we're on episode 7. Yeah. But yes, we have finished Stranger Things. It has been done, dusted. I kind of understand what you meant about it being a little bit disappointed. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I think it was good. I would have probably killed 2 different people off. So I like Stranger Things, and I'm sure you will have your own opinion of it and stuff like that. But I think it's very predictable about who's going to die in it.
Yeah.
It's very much
safe.
Yeah, so like it's always like supporting roles that are going to die, aren't they? Like none of the main cast to get in touch, and I probably, well, maybe that's just because of the series. I think there was a few people in here that had quieter seasons. I'm thinking Jonathan and Will probably didn't have the.
See, I think one of them 2 is going to top it in the next season.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know what? If you kill Jonathan off this season, I thought, yeah, no, that's fine. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, but I think it's teen. I don't know.
Or one of them from that family, but it's already set it up. Spoiler alert, isn't it? It's already set it up.
I don't think it's spoiler alert. It's pretty much been all over fucking all social media, and if you haven't watched it by now, you're fucking go and get on it. Stop.
Yeah.
You go and watch it, and then come back to this.
But yeah, it looks like Will's got a major role in next season.
Yeah.
Hasn't he? So.
Which is going to be the last one. But we're going to have to wait 2 years.
I know. Yeah.
Shit.
I know. What did you think of it anyway? What did you feel about it?
I don't think they could have ended it any other way. I think the whole Max bit, that shocked me. I don't think they've done her justice with the way they've handled that. And I've read some of the theories after it. So obviously her dying was the last gate that he needed. Ooh, spoiler alert. But then when Elle brought her back, that sort of closed the gate temporarily. But then at the very, very end, when they were all together again, and you sort of see all of the smoke bellowing out of the cracks, that someone's said that actually signifies that she's gone again. And that's maybe the start of season 5.
Oh, really?
Again, I just think that's a massive injustice to her. They sort of made out as though she was brain dead, which was apparent when Elle went to hospital. And again, we're drilling into that very deep and dark. But I don't know. I just think she was such a central character to that series. If that is how she's died, it 100% not done her justice there.
I think there's more. I think there's more to that one, to be perfectly honest. But we'll see. We'll see in 2024, won't we?
But I will be disappointed if everyone he's taken can be brought back to life. Like that would just be just absolute shit. And I've also seen that they're going to be doing a fucking spin-off, which is kind of ruining it a little bit for me.
I've heard the spin-off is like totally unrelated though, isn't it? It's like set 300 years beforehand or something like that, stupid.
Yeah, but still, it's like, Walking Dead, and then they go, "Ooh, Dawn of the Walking Dead." It's just shit.
Yeah, true. But then you might get Better Saul, which is brilliant.
I just think that Netflix have obviously seen the success of this. They know it's coming to an end, and rather than just letting it die, they're milking it.
Yeah,
I don't agree with it.
Well, I mean, they've done that with Vikings as well, haven't they? And other.
Well, no, they've not. So that was originally an Amazon Prime thing, and they've bought the rights to that.
Yeah.
Tried writing a prequel. So I sort of see why they're doing that. This is just capitalizing on it, I think. But it is what it is. Game of Thrones is also getting a spin-off.
Oh, is it?
Which still don't think you've watched that, have you?
I have not watched 1 second of Game of Thrones, and I am very proud of it.
Jon Snow's all right.
And I know who they are. I know the people. I think every British actor in the world has played like some part of it in Game of Thrones, isn't it? Apart from this is a recommendation. If you ever get a chance, if you ever get a spare hour or so, check out Ralph Little and Will Mellor's podcast. It's called 2 Pints with Will and Ralph, and it's quite funny. It's just two, men fastly approaching middle age talking about bullshit. I mean, that's a premise for a podcast somewhere, isn't it?
That's pretty much what we do. Come on.
Exactly, right. But he was saying how he must be the only person in the world that has auditioned for Game of Thrones who hasn't got a job as a northern actor. I thought it was quite funny.
What else I've watched? I don't know if you have. If you've not, you should. The Boys.
The Boys.
So this is an Amazon thing. And episode 8 of series 3, which is the finale, has just been on Friday. Yeah, it's worth a watch.
What's it about?
It's a bunch of superheroes, but it's the opposite of what you would normally think of a series about that. Like, the superheroes are all assholes, and it follows a group of people led by a British actor, shock, who just want to kill them, and they're trying to kill these superheroes. Wow. So it's set in like a universe where these superheroes are supposed to be looking after the universe and all that fun shit. But deep down, you see like when the cameras are offside to them, where they're just absolute assholes and they've killed people on purpose and they really don't give a fuck.
Wow.
So I don't know, go and watch a trailer for it and see what you think. It's built up. I think the next series should be the finale.
Right.
I don't see how they can make it last much longer. But yeah, they're dragging that out a bit.
I'll give.
But it's definitely worth a watch. Yeah, it's for comedic value. It's just there's a lot of quips. It's probably one of the things that's keeping Amazon Prime afloat.
Right. Okay.
Other than Grand Tour, if that's even still a thing.
I mean, they just work when they want these three now, don't they?
Mm.
I think they did one in early January, didn't they? I watched it, but I can't really remember much of it, to be honest. I think they just do like one a year. Clarkson Farm was massive, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, Clarkson Farm was there. They're filming or have filmed for Series 2.
Yeah. So
that should be coming out anytime soon.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I did enjoy that.
Mm.
Quite like to go to the farm and have a pint of shit beer. Literal shit beer.
Don't buy a bottle of bee juice.
Right. So, should we talk about some parenting stuff?
Nah.
We might as well, because I'm after some advice.
Well, then.
You know, we've only been doing it near enough a year now. So, on Tuesday, we had a bit of a scare. Nothing major that came from it, or at least nothing major yet, but it's something that we really need to look out to. Robin's been eating. She's been eating for the past couple of months. Everything's been brilliant, and obviously we're trying new things with her. So one of the things she tried a new thing on Tuesday, and it turned out that she may have had an allergic reaction to it. She started getting quite swelled up over her chin and coming out in hives and stuff, which is a worry. It's even more of a worry when it was peanuts. So she tried some peanut butter. So her auntie, so Becky's sister, has quite a severe nut allergy. What our priority was trying to get hold of 111. And it took 25 minutes before the automated messages stopped going on, because you never know how serious that is. So As the 15 minutes come on between the automated messages, this is before we even got through to this is before we even got through to a ringtone first, or even options to anyway. We thought we're just going to drive to the nearest doctors. It wasn't our doctors, but we just drove to the nearest one because you never know with these kind of things. And luckily, they were really nice enough to see us straight away, and they said, well, this kind of age, there's nothing really to worry about. Allergies can be mild. If she is unlucky, she may have a peanut allergy, but it's something that she's going to have to test by some blood tests and maybe she has to speak to a pediatrician about it. But obviously that's a real worry for any parent, isn't it? And I guess one of the questions is how do you keep yourself calm in situations like that, but how do you kind of keep yourself composed enough to try, and if there is anything been wrong before, I know you've mentioned Callum that's had injured his leg. How do you keep yourself composed enough to try and get there? Because I'm not going to lie, I kind of went into panic mode and said, right, we just need to get to her. But I guess you hear so many scary stories about peanut allergies, don't you? And I guess what keeps you from going from worst case scenario?
Wow. I think you've just got to not think about it, if that makes sense. Yeah. And that's the hardest thing to do. So yeah, we Callum, I was I just sort of put a brave face on for him, and when he wasn't looking, then inside my head, I internalized a lot of the panic and fear. Never externalized it. Something happened with Georgia when she was younger, where we had to, involve the emergency services, and I did exactly that. I went into panic mode where it was just like, you just need to get here as soon as you can, and I lost all composure, whereas Beck just had ultimate composure at that point. And we actually had that discussion afterwards of how we so calm about it. And I don't know whether it was because she trained or she sort of knew what was going on and I didn't. But she just was infinitely calmer than me. So, yeah, I think that probably played a big part in it. If there's advice that I could give or would give, would be to sort of read up on the different things that can. I don't know, this is sort of, you could go down all sorts of rabbit holes here, but, just read up on allergies and allergic reactions and what that is and what that actually looks like and when to be concerned. Read up on rashes, what's a bad rash and when to be concerned, things like that.
Well, do you know what? We have done a bit of a read into it, and something that I didn't know is that allergies develop as you get older. So actually, for someone of Robin's age, it's relatively minor for them to catch an allergy at the minute, or at least the allergy. If you are allergic to something, it's relatively minor. It's as you get older that stuff becomes more serious, and probably until you get into your teens and stuff like that. And I wonder if that's something because of exposure or something like that. Is it something that you've been underexposed to something, or is it? Do you know what I don't know. I'm not here to speculate, but
I sort of know a little bit more about this bit from a personal experience of when I was younger. I had asthma.
Right.
I wasn't born with it. I didn't have it when I was very young, and I had it from, I'd say, about 7 to about 11. And I remember the doctor telling me at that point, overhearing a conversation with my parents, that your body goes through different developmental phases. It's like, if you pick it up before the age of 7, you're likely to grow out of something by the age of 11. So say there's certain checkpoints. And if you've got something before a certain age, before one of those checkpoints, you're likely to grow out of it by that next checkpoint. And I'm not saying this is true for everything, but once you get to that final checkpoint, and I can't remember whether it was 11 or to 15 or 21 or whatever. I don't know when that final one was. I can't remember. But if you've got it then, it's likely to sort of live on with you.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. I think I got diagnosed with asthma when I was 14. I probably had it beforehand, but no, I've still got it now.
Yeah, so maybe that was one of the checkpoints around then.
Yeah.
But I sort of grew out of it, and it was fine. It's never caused me any issues since. Touch wood. Listen wood.
Yeah.
Listen wood quick. Georgia did have a bit of an allergic reaction when she was, I'd say, probably a little bit older than Robin, to strawberries.
Right. Okay.
But she came out just in a bit of a almost like a strawberry rash on her cheeks. And when we sort of took her to the doctors, and I just said, no more strawberries for X amount of time. And we just gradually tried her with different berries and stuff. That was because we didn't know, and that was sort of their advice, we just try different berries and see how she is. And try and narrow it down to just strawberries. And then you know what to avoid. But luckily she grew out of all that, and we've tried her with, only with tiny bits, but since, and she's fine with them now.
I heard strawberries is a big allergic reaction for kids. Like, I've never heard of it at all, but yeah, I've heard that strawberries is quite a big one for kids, isn't it?
Yeah, don't know why.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she came out with like a bit of a rosy rash off the back of it.
Yeah, Robin was hives underneath the chin, and oh god, it was scary. And I'll tell you how scary it is, and this will lighten the mood up. It was so scary that as I raced to the doctors, out the drive, so picture the scene. We're living at at a cul-de-sac. We're at the bottom of the cul-de-sac, and then you've got like a curved road, which is like a turning circle, I guess, for cars to turn around in. So we're at the bottom house. The house to us is the left-hand side, and the drives are kind of, it's kind of the same drive, if that makes sense. Like they're connected. They're not connected. There's like flower pots in the way, but for all intents and purposes, they're connected and curving around. So next door's drive is on like a 45-degree angle to us. Next door had visitors, and they parked behind each other, which was coincidentally behind me. So as I was in a panic and not watching properly, I smashed right into the back of them and just fucking did what I had to do. So yeah, that was nice. That was to top a nice little day.
Did you tell them? Or is this your version of telling them and coming out?
Do you know what? Right. So I don't know whether it's the right thing or the wrong thing to do. So I looked out and I saw that I had done absolutely no damage to them, or certainly nothing damage. So I thought, fuck it, I'll sort it out later. So I drove to the doctors first, and I went to the doctors. I then drove back and came back and knocked on next door and said, look, I'm really sorry. We've done this, this, and this. Do you know what? The person was really fine without it. And we explained that, you know, Robin had had a reaction of some sort, and we were just dealing with them. And in fairness, I'd scraped the back of her car, but it was like, you know, when you just get paint on a little bit and it's more like dirt, and it was just rubbing off straight away. There was absolutely no damage to hers. Our car, however, is in a slightly different thing, but you know, at least it's our car and we don't have to pay out on insurance or anything like that. So we can just deal with that. It's a very minor issue. But it was just one of them. It was like, what was the choice? Do I go and sort out this and potentially get out with some sort of, I don't want to say fine or reprimanded from the police or anything like that, or go sort your daughter out? And, you know, daughter came first, I'm afraid.
Yeah, you do check up. If they had have noticed it, just playing devil's advocate here, but if they had have noticed it and reported it to the police, you would have potentially got up to 9 points on your license.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Because you technically, and this, as bad as this sounds, you've left the scene of a crime.
Do you know what? Right. So, and like I say, they were very, very nice to it. But I've had dealings with the police about something like this before, when they tried to get me from not having insurance on my car when I was insured, and he was going to say, and literally the last words with him was, legally I need to tow you away now because I'm doing you for not having insurance, but you have insurance, so I'm not going to do it. I'm like, well, why are you giving me 6 points then, dickhead? There was a lot to it. I was very, very naive at the time. So the story goes, I was on my way to work, but as I was on my way out to work, I got pulled for a search, and I was honest to a policeman. He said, "Where have you been?" I said, "All right, I've just dropped off at our head office now, and then I'm going on my way to my work." And he got me, said, "Have you got business insurance for that?" And I was literally in the head office for 2.5 minutes, if that. And he did me for not having business insurance.
You see,
6 points.
Traveling to and from a place of work.
Exactly right, but. You know, I was only young at the time. I was 25. No, maybe I was older. But anyway, you don't think about it, do you? You wouldn't think if you went
most people don't. No.
Yeah, you didn't think if you worked from one place to another, and then you drop off. If you worked at TSB, if you fucking went to the Wigan store and then had to drop off at Lita. I don't know why I said TSB. Is TSB even a thing anymore? No one fucking knows what banks. Anyway, I know TSB is a thing, but I don't know if the banks is still around, are they? But yeah, so apparently you need business insurance for that. I know now, but I was very bitter about that.
So I similar thing. I had a friend who was in the force, and he explained exactly what was happening, what happened to me, and it's exactly what happened to you, by the sounds of it. So back before it was illegal, not necessarily illegal, but it was an offence to drive around using your mobile phone, you was advised to have an in-car mobile phone kit, or just don't answer your phone, basically. Yeah. I stupidly answered my phone, and this guy just pulled over beside me and went, "Excuse me, sir, need to have a word with you. Can you pull over?" And I thought I was going to get attacked. You know, I was on my way to work.
Yeah.
He didn't question me about business insurance. He just said, "Were you on your phone?" And I went, "Yeah, why?" He went, "I'm a police officer. I'm on my way to work." Said, "I don't have any in my boot, but normally I would have a producer. I would give you a producer, and then you would have to go and produce all of your documents, and you'd get 3 points. Can you please not do that again?" I'm like, "All right, you sound like a bit of a job's worth. Appreciate you doing your job. You're going above and beyond. You're not on time. Just tell me, don't do it again." And you know, it's stupid. Great. Anyway, fast forward. Spoke to a friend who was in the force, and he went, they were all actively, for a good period of time, every officer was told when they're off duty to sort of keep their eyes and ears open for stuff like that, and they were almost given targets to sort of go
really?
in. Or they were rewarded for going above and beyond the level of service. So just pulling people for little crappy things, like your tyres flat, you're missing a hubcap, whatever, your back left light, rear lights out, giving them producers. They're not even clocked on.
Well, do you know what? We're in a bit of a sticky situation, and the government needs some money from us somewhere. It's not like we pay council tax, then more tax, then value added tax, and then tax on the petrol from the duties with the petrol. You know, GMP needs some more money, doesn't it? But that's going up to.
I think the government needs more than money at this point. They need an actual fucking.
They need a prime minister, don't they?
Let's not get into politics. That's a different podcast.
That is a different podcast, yeah. But yeah, I mean, with factual is we need a prime minister. Boris is gone.
Yeah.
And however you think about that, you know, that's a different episode. That's for Piers Morgan to argue.
I mean, Jeremy Hunt could be next in line, or Priti Patel, or that God. Idiot with the big ears who has got no working class friends and a red briefcase.
Yeah. Who's evaded more tax. Well, anyway, let's. I think that's a good day to, fuck off before we get in trouble. How about that?
It's factual, officer.
Yeah. I'm going.
Well, let's wrap up there. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks everyone for listening. See you next week.